Shows Phil Hartman in a suit standing in front of a camera. Hartman. Hello, I'm Richard Micmac and Steinbergerson, and welcome back to our expose on emerging religions. Today we are in Terryville, Connecticut, where a rather peculiar Christian sect has popped up. Shows John Belushi in a suit and a white wig overseeing a read-through at a table with several people. Hartman. Mr. Tim Baxter has started the Connecticut branch of a newly formed religion named Lorn Again Christians. No, not born-again Christians, but instead Lorn Again. Lorn as in Lorne Michaels, the creator and executive producer of the show Saturday Night Live. Shows Hartman and Belushi sitting in chairs opposite each other with the camera facing them. Hartman. So please explain to our audience, what exactly does it mean to be a Lorn Again Christian? Belushi. It means you act like Lorne Michaels. You wear nice suits, you have white hair, you talk a certain way, you eat at Orso, and you produce a live comedy-based variety show. Hartman. And what does it have to do with Christianity? Belushi. What I have found is that acting like Lorne Michaels is a religious experience that brings you closer to Jesus Christ. Hartman. You know that Lorne is Jewish, right? Belushi. Well, so was Jesus himself. I don't see the problem. Voiceover of Hartman says, and these Lorn Again Christian missions, initially started by Mr. Baxter in Connecticut, have begun to pop up all over the country. Shows a montage of Chris Farley, Jan Hooks, Norm Macdonald, and Gilda Radner, all dressed in suits and wearing white wigs, in various places conducting various duties involved in producing a live comedy show. While showing Farley directing actors on a stage, voiceover of Hartman says, Monty Montgomery out of Racine, Wisconsin, has had some difficulties keeping his show afloat. Shows Farley in front of the camera who says, I started my Lorn Again Christian mission about 6 months ago, and it's tough to find a good host for the show every week. I had to settle on a crack-addicted prostitute as my host last week, and she really flubbed the monologue. Shows Denitra Vance as a prostitute standing on stage who says, we got a great show tonight, and it's $50 for a rub and tug, $75 for my mouth, and $100 if you get in my coochie. Cuts back to Belushi and Hartman sitting across from each other. Hartman, what do you think of the several other Lorn Again Christian missions that have popped up all over the country? Belushi, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, so the new missions have been well received. Hartman, are you all synchronized? Belushi, yes, we try to be, but you'll have to excuse me. I still have to cut 7 minutes between dress and hair. Hartman voiceover says, how are Lorn Again Christians being viewed by other Christians? We asked the big man himself. Shows Jesus Christ in a suit and a white wig sitting across from Hartman in front of a camera who says, I'm really supportive of Lorn Again Christians. He's Jewish, and I was Jewish once upon a time. It's really great. Hartman. But Jesus, what is it about being a Lorn Again Christian that makes it a truly Christian sect? Jesus. All I know is that I have really enjoyed trying to put a live show together every week. The joy of it is, the show doesn't go on because it's ready. It goes on because it's 11:30. And dead from the earth, we're not alive. It's Saturday Night Alive, starring John Belushi, Chris Farley, Phil Hartman, Jan Hooks, Norm Macdonald, Gilda Radner, Denitra Vance, and with many other special deceased contributors. Musical guest, Robbie Robertson, and your host, Strother Martin. Everybody, Strother Martin. Applause, applause, applause. Shows Martin on stage who says, thank you, thank you. I was a character actor who often appeared in support of John Wayne and Paul Newman, and in Western films directed by John Ford and Sam Peckinpah. Among my most memorable performances was as the warden of a state prison camp in the 1967 film Cool Hand Luke. Applause, applause, applause. Martin. And in April 1980, when I was 61 years old, I hosted Saturday Night Live during its 5th season. Coincidentally or not, I died 4 months later. Anyway, I said during my monologue that when they asked me to host, they thought they were getting Tennessee Williams, and Chris Farley comes out on stage in chains. Farley: Mr. Martin, sir, why did you ask them back there to have me come out during your monologue all chained up? Martin: Never mind that. You're going to get used to wearing them chains after a while, Chris. But you'll never stop listening to them clinking, because they're going to remind you of what I've been saying, for your own good. Farley: Well, gee, Mr. Martin, in that case, I wish you'd stop being so good to me. Martin takes off his belt and says, Don't you ever talk that way to me. Martin begins to whip Farley with his belt, who falls over and rolls off the stage into the audience. As Martin looks down at Farley in the audience, he says, What we've got here is failure to communicate. Anyway, we have a great show tonight. Robbie Robertson of the band is here, so I'm sure you can't wait for the wait. We'll be right back.